FMR 101.3.
And our final guests today are Deidre and Jason Sandler from the Bloom Foundation, an incredible initiative transforming youth development in Cape Town. Welcome, guys.
Thank you very much for having us.
Thank you. Great to be here with you.
It's nice having you here. So, Deidre, tell me, how did you get involved with founding Bloom?
Well, it all started back in 2018 when I met your wonderful delegation of South Africa that was at a international conference that I was at as well. And I happened to notice that they were being non-social at an international conference. They were standing in their little corner drinking the orange juice and not really talking to anybody. And having known that they are from South Africa, I went up to them and introduced myself. And they had a hard time even just doing small talk, talking about the weather or, where you're from and tell me a little more about your country. And I thought, there's some work that needs to be done. And that is what inspired me to come to South Africa to do youth development in soft skills and focusing on communication, mostly with our young people. So that's what created the dream.
And where do you find yourself working? Are you based in Cape Town?
We are based in Cape Town, so we basically work with high school students in the previously disadvantaged communities. We work with grade 8 through 12s, and we teach them soft skills development. Soft skills, which includes self-awareness, mostly, from the grade 8 to 10 level. And once they get to the grade 10 level, they then have an understanding of who it is they are, what it is they want to be, who it is, what goals they want to set for themselves, and then make informed decisions for a career path. Both Jason and myself come from the tourism hospitality industry, and so the idea was to raise them so they could also be interested in tourism and hospitality, because it would give them an opportunity to go anywhere in the world and have a job. And that's what sort of spawned the whole thing.
And then the name, I've got Bloom in capital letters here because it's an acronym.
Correct.
Can you tell us what the acronym means?
So Bloom stands for Build and Learn to Optimize Opportunities Mindfully. And the mindfully part comes from the self-awareness part. Being aware of who you are, what it is you want out of life, how am I going to get there, what is my roadmap, who's going to help me to get there. And so that's what we do,
That's
sort of the fundamentals.
That brings it all together.
Correct.
Definitely. And Deidre spoke up until grade 10. The grade 11s and the matrics, we look at more practical skills for them of, right, you guys have been in this cocoon of high school, let us see what it's going to be like out in the real world. So we build on the understanding of who am I to help them further which direction they may choose want to go, because unfortunately too many people have got this mindset of, if you don't pass matric well, if you don't go to university, you're not going to be successful, which is a big lie. And they've got to understand and see that it can be further and way more than just that.
Yes, thank you so much for doing that. That's an important lesson to teach the kids. What inspired the Foundation's unique approach to youth development?
I was born and raised here in Cape Town myself, so I sort of knew the lay of the land and what it was like. And I had an opportunity to move abroad. And I've been living abroad for the last 44 years, and I wanted to come back to give back. And when I met these gentlemen, at the conference, that was my opportunity to come back and give back.
Yes, and you had that reference, as you said, you were born in Cape Town, so you know where to.
Exactly, I knew exactly where the trouble spots were, and it became more trouble, like bigger trouble spots, as I stayed away longer, and as you became more of a democratic society where everybody had now an opportunity to do something, but they didn't know how to do it or where to start, and so the foundation is really just to do just that, to give those kids a voice, to give them, to let them know that you can also become someone.
Right,
exactly.
Wonderful.
So.
And then a lot of what we do is, I'm a born and bred Cape Townian. A lot of what we do is what Deidre has brought back from what they are doing with students in Canada, where she currently resides. Well, so we're bringing what they're learning and the style and the focus we're bringing to the schools now that we go to.
Yeah, but my question here there might be some Canadian answers now, because tell us about the skills you're teaching these young learners.
So teaching them. So in Canada, we changed the way we teach. We teach more on an inquiry-based platform, right from a preschool level on, where the kids they work in collaborative circles, where the kids ask questions. The questions are discussed. The answers are given by every member of the group, and then it just creates a broader perspective on the subject matter,
whatever,
right?
yes.
And so I find my son went through this program, and he's phenomenal. He's 13, and he can hold a conversation with a 99-year-old or a 2-year-old. That's how broad, the perspective is. And so when we teach our soft skills, we teach in that manner as well. We always say to the kids, we're not teachers, we're facilitators. We're here to teach you life skills that's going to benefit you every single day of your life, where you are going to make informed decisions, because you're going to stop and you're going to think about, your action and your reaction to certain things. And so this is what helps us do what we do. And, we have kids come up to us after the lesson. They go, thank you for bringing that to us today. No one has ever taught us.
Yes.
And we just think it's just everyday common sense, right?
Yes. And that takes you to that M again, mindfulness.
Correct.
Teaching them things, and then they can make mindful choices.
Correct.
Later.
Yes.
How are you making a difference in communities with limited opportunities?
Well, we work in high schools, but we also work in communities. So we have teamed up with some other organizations that already have a foot in.
Okay.
But the main focus for our training is to help these young adolescents find jobs at the end of the day.
Okay.
A lot of them don't have the financial stability to go to university or to go to college, so this is our conduit. So we say we can fill that gap. We'll train you, we'll teach you, we'll give you the job skills that's necessary and needed, especially for tourism hospitality, and we're going to put you through the program, and we're going to place you into jobs. So we're doing a lot of the work outside of high school already. High school is our fundamental, the fundamental basics.
Okay.
Once you graduate from high school, you can come to us and we'll teach you how to be a barista. Because I said, being a barista, you can go anywhere in the world and you can have a job, right?
Wonderful
Being
skill.
a mixologist, being a bartender, anywhere in the world, again, you can have a job. Become a chef. Jason is a chef by trade. So we teach a culinary course. Just so that they can have an entry level into the job market, and they can also become financially independent. Because the last thing I want them is to stand at a robot for a handout, or join a gang, or go into drugs, or and go down the wrong path.
Do you approach high schools, or do the high schools approach you?
We approach high schools, so we have an affiliation with Western Cape Education Department, Metro Central, and we work in 6 of their schools.
Okay.
We've got 5,500 kids that we're in front of. So,
well done.
We would like to take on more, obviously, but, and we're growing our,
5,500's a number, well done.
growing our team. But so far, it's been very impactful, and, when we feel that we're doing the right thing at the right time when it is needed. So,
Mindful.
And you're doing the right thing and a great example is in January, February, once they've settled down, end of January, beginning of February, we go back to a school again. And as we go back to the school, the students from the previous year, they look at you and they go like, what, you actually came back? Cool. And then they get excited about it because they're so used to the disappointment of a quick burst of something, and then you never see the people
came
again.
Take a photo of and then moved on.
Exactly.
Wonderful.
And
Thank you for making that difference.
And we have a chance of being with them for 5 years. So we see you in grade 8. We're going to see you all the way through grade 12. If you want to continue with us past your grade 12, we're there for you. We're there to support you. Right. So
stunning. There must be many, but just touch on one or two. What challenges do you face at work?
Sometimes it's the discipline. Even though the school agenda is very academic and very programmed, the behavior of the kids sometimes can be challenging for us. There were some schools that we were at, the kids are just very disrespectful, even though respect is one of the things we talk about as core values. And there were classes that we walked out of because, they just wouldn't sit still and listen. So it's mostly the behavior, but the behavior can be changed with the right method. Unfortunately, we have a very short window of time that we can spend with them. We do our lessons in their life orientation program, so that at least it's it's scheduled, it's programmed, but it's not long enough. So our impact now for our focus is, we spoke to the education department about it, is to train the trainer. Let us train the teachers
Yes.
on the methods that we use
Yes.
and that we would like to introduce. That way the kids will be more exposed on a regular basis to the type of methodology of how to teach and how to, look at self-awareness. And I think that will have a greater impact. So that's sort of the channel that
And
we're
then when
that
your
we're going
class
with,
is
right?
time, and then they know what to expect.
Exactly.
Precisely.
Yes. Yeah.
How can people support the Bloom Foundation?
Well, right now, up until this day, we receive very little funding. Funding, it's funny because it always says, "Oh, we've got money available. Apply," and then you apply and you get rejected. And this has
Yes.
happened so many times. And now we're making an appeal to the general public. The work we do, we feel it's fundamental work. And I'm saying, for the cost of 200 rands a month, a year, we can put so many more kids through the program. Because I have to travel, I come here at my own expense. I'm doing what I'm doing at my own expense with my own investment of time. Not that anybody has to buy in, because the work will still continue.
Yes.
But if I had help and support from the general public, we could do
Might do a bit
even a
more,
lot
yeah.
more. Right? We could open it up to so much more. So,
Excellent. 5,500 can become 1,100. I've got information that we can visit your website for more information. What is
correct.
your website?
So
Yes.
www.bloomfoundation.co.za.
Okay, .co.za. Thank you so much, Deidre and Jason.
Thank
To
you.
support the Bloom Foundation, just 200 Rand can make a difference in a learner's life. Visit their website for more information, and to repeat, that website is www.bloomfoundation.co.za. Thank you so much for coming in, Jason and Deidre.
Thank you
Thank
so
you
much.
so much for
appreciated.
allowing us to be here.
FMR